Hello, and welcome back to Urban Appeal Trivia, the show that proves once again that you can have a banana in your pocket. There we go. It proves that you can have a banana in your pocket and be happy to see people. My name is John Chezik, and I'm the host of Urban Appeal Trivia, and I own Urban Appeal Tours, the #1 tour company in Detroit, according to my dog Charlie. Here he is. One hand grab. Odell Beckham style. Here's Charlie. All right. So just like every other week, if you want to go be involved with the Black Lives Matter movement, you can click on the link in the description of this video. Find places to get involved. Also like to give a shout out to this week's sponsor, Gracie Apothecary. They utilize the healing power of plants through herbal tea and essential oil blends. So definitely check them out. And if you are interested in becoming a sponsor, be sure to hit us up at hello@urbanappealtours.com. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to Nick, Sarah, and Charlie helping out behind and in front of the scenes. Nick's giving some hang tens back there. They are helping out just like every other week. Got back from a long bicycle trip. How'd it go, Sarah? She's in pain. They rode 90 miles over the weekend. Oh, someone's honking outside too. They're excited for trivia. Speaking of trivia, if you haven't already, go to crowd.live/herbappeal on your second device, because that's where you're going to answer these questions I'm about to ask you. Now, keep in mind, there is a time component to the questions. So the faster you can get your correct answer and the more points you're going to be awarded. Now, the person with the most points at the end of each game is going to be the winner. But there's going to be 3 people getting prizes. In 7th place, you're going to win $5 to Boro Resale, a fantastic resale shop in the Eastern Market District. And 2nd place is going to get $5 to Boro and $5 to Bagley Central, a great bar right around the corner from us, and they do to-go beers and cocktails and jerky and love. Now, 1st place is getting both of those gift certificates and a free walking tour, Conmigo, which in English means with me. All right, in between each game there, we're going to do what's called Ask John, where you can put in questions in the YouTube chat, and I will answer them at halftime. So make sure you get those in now, because then they'll be waiting for me in between the games, and I'll be ready to go. All right, that's enough chit chat. Let's get down to brass tacks here. You guys ready for trivia? Here we go. Question 1. What former Republican governor said he would be voting for Joe Biden in November? Is it A, Rick Snyder? Is it B, Jennifer Granholm? Is it C, John Engler? Or is it D, James Devlin? Looking for it. Just came out the past week. He said he'd be voting for Joe Biden. Definitely surprised because he is or was a Republican. Correct answer there is A, Rick, the tough nerd Snyder. Nerd alert. All right, on to question 2. 76% of you got that. Way to go. Question 2. What branch of Christianity does this church follow? Is it A, Presbyterianism? Is it B, Anglicanism? Is it C, Catholicism? Or is it D, Episcopalianism? So you'll have to know which church this is in Detroit, and then which type of Christianity they follow. That is right down the street from us. That is St. Anne's Church, or Basilica de Santa Ana, I believe is how it is in Spanish. And they are C, Catholic, Catholicism. Only 24% of you knew that. A lot of people thought Presbyterian. Interesting. Question 3. How many buildings does Detroit have that are more than 50 stories tall? Is it A, 3? Is it B, 4? Is it C, 1? Or is it D, 2? The number of buildings in Detroit that are more than 50 stories tall. Correct answer there, it's only 1, C1. Only the Renaissance Center. Only 12% of you got that. A lot of people thought 4. Let's take a look at our leaderboard, see what's going on so far. All right, so in 7th place, looks like we got a tie here. I have to go back to the main screen. Just give me, well, in 2nd place, you got OK Man with 174 points. So a tie for 7th. It looks like it'd be Kamel and somebody else. Either way, it's going to change. Nina Kranz is playing for the first time. Welcome, Nina. Lloyd Christmas back. The Good Family is playing as a whole. If I know that family, that's going to go great. Coco is in 3rd place, 162 points. OK Man with 174 points. And in 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt. According to Nick, the only squirt that has caffeine in it. Is that true? Is that true, Nick?
According to me, it's true.
According to Nick, it is true that Nick says that. So that's pretty infallible. Sarah, can you do me a favor? You don't get the banana out of the On to question 4. In the U.S., what major brewer owns the Stroh's beer brand? Is it A, Pabst? Is it B, Anheuser-Busch? Is it C, Duff? Or is it D, Miller? Looking for the major brewer that owns the Stroh's beer brand. They bought it back in the 80s, I believe, and that is A, Pabst. Was brewed in Milwaukee, and then I brought it back to Detroit. Only 35% of you knew that. One person thought Duff Man, but it was Pabst. Question 5. What Detroit road turns into Steve Yzerman Drive? Is it A, Fort? Is it B, Jefferson? Is it C, Woodward? Or is it D, Atwater? So looking for the street that turns into Steve Yzerman Drive. I believe Steve Yzerman's is playing, so hopefully they know this. Correct answer there is D, Atwater, the street that goes along the river there. Looks like 37% of you knew that. A lot of people thought of Jefferson. I knew that one was going to be popular. Question 6. What Detroiter had his statue spray painted by protesters with the word slave owner and land thief? Is it A, Lewis Katz? Is it B, Joseph Campo? Is it C, William Mayberry? Or is it D, Alexander McComb? Looking for which Detroiter had his statue updated, I guess we'll call it. And that is D, Alexander McComb. That's going to be another tough one. Only 32% of you. A lot of people thought Lewis Katz. That was a good guess, but unfortunately it is Alexander McComb. All right, well, that is another 3 questions in the books. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Looks like in 7th place we have Jerry Lee Chezik, my father. I'm in line for that $5 to borrow resale. In 2nd place, jumping up, is Laura Dunn. Way to go, Laura, 302 points. In 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt. Looks like Talil's playing this week. Aunt Marge down in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I was right, Steve Yzerman's is playing. All right, on to question 7. Which car company did John DeLorean not work for before starting his own car company? Is it A, GM? Is it B, Ford? Is it C, Chrysler? Or is it D, Packard? For the one he did not work for. It means he worked for all the others. Correct answer there is B, Ford. Started off at Chrysler, and worked at Packard, and then most famously worked for GM, the Pontiac division. It's like a lot of you thought Packard. I think a lot of you think Packard ended a lot earlier than it actually did, because I thought the same. Question 8. Which of these cities uses the area code 313? Is it A, Warren? Is it B, Inkster? Is it C, Garden City? Or is it D, Ferndale? We're looking for one that uses 313. That one is B, Inkster. Way to go, Nick. 26% of you got that right. Way to go. So you still have time. Way to go. Question 9. What street is pictured here? Is it A, Brush? Is it B, Larned? Is it C, Monroe? Or is it D, Woodward? Got a scene from a nightlife, got a car speeding past there. There's a casino in the background, give you a little clue. And that is C, Monroe, the main street in Greektown, named for Reverend William C. Monroe, who was the first pastor at the Second Baptist Church right there on what is now Monroe Street. Looks like almost 40% of you knew that. Way to go. Moving on to taking a look at this leaderboard. It looks like we had a change here. So in 7th place now is OK Man. And just out of the top, oh wow, only 1 point behind Mikey H is Laura Dunn in 3rd place. And 2nd place is Mikey H, 303 points. And 1st place, that Ruby Red Squirt is using that caffeine to his or her advantage. The Good Family is in 12th place. Taleel's in there. J-Rod's playing tonight. Welcome back, J-Rod. 2020 Chezik is in the mix, whoever that may be. Hopefully they're rooting for me for the presidential because my write-in campaign is going swell. Question 10. What Michigan university has seen strikes from student instructors over COVID-19 concerns? Is it A, MSU? Is it B, UDM? Is it C, U of M? Or is it D, CMU? I don't know if these strikers are willing to forgo their minimal student salaries, but we'll find out. Correct answer is C, U of M. Looks like a lot of you pay attention to the news this week, saw about almost 60% of you got that right. On to question 11. In what park will you find a statue of Antoine Delamode Cadillac? Is it A, Hart Plaza? Is it B, Campus Martius? Is it C, Roosevelt Park? Or is it D, Capitol Park? For which park you'll find a statue of the man, the first European to land in Detroit. And it's located very close to where he originally landed in A, Hart Plaza. Charlie did not like that one. On to question 12. Which of these bars / restaurants is not in the Rivertown district of Detroit? Is it A, Rose's Fine Food? Is it B, Andrews on the Corner? Is it C, Atwater Brewing? Or is it D, They Say? Rose's Fine Food is a diner. Andrews on the Corner is a great family bar. Atwater Brewing's a brewery. They Say is a great jazz and blues club. Correct answer, though, is A, Rose's Fine Food. That is further down Jefferson, a little bit past Belle Isle, I think. Might be, which side of Belle Isle is it on? No, it's definitely past Belle Isle. Only 22% of you guys got that. Gotta hang on Rivertown more, I guess. Question 13. Which radio station runs the Mojo in the Morning campaign? Is it A, WDET 101.9? Is it B, Channel 955? Is it C, 97.9 JLB, WJLB? Or is it D, 101 The Riff? The correct answer there, of course, is B, Channel 955. They've been broadcasting Mojo in the Morning since the year 2000.
Long time.
20 years. Over 20 years, I bet. 63% of you guys got that right. Way to go. From here on out, we're going to take a look at our leaderboard after every question. So let's do that now. So let's see here. In 7th place, Mikey H. in line for that $5 to Bora. In 2nd place, in line for both gift certificates, is Steven Isermans. And in 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt. Lloyd Christmas is in 13th. Got Jared Bookmeyer moved up to 12th. Coco is in 11th. Chris W., I think, was in 6th. All right. Question 14, 2 to go. Who designed this building? Is it A, Albert Kahn? Is it B, Wirt C. Rowland? Is it C, Minoru Yamasaki? Or is it D, Louis Camper? And for the designer of the building seen there, that is A, Albert Kahn. That is the First National building downtown. Another speeding car going by. And there's a lot of speeding cars in these pictures. Slow it down. 53% of you got that right. Way to go, you guys. All right, let's take a look at that leaderboard before we get to our final question. So 7th place, Chris W. with 470 points. In 2nd place, Steven Eisner Mins, 625 points. And holding on tight, as if he had a claw, is Ruby Red Squirt. Let's see. 2020 Chuzak has 69 points. Nice. Talil Pradhan has 422 points. And Mamma Mia, my mom, 188 points. Way to go, Mom. Final question of the evening, or not of the evening, of the first game. What am I talking about? In what city is Draymond Green giving away 550 pairs of shoes to students? Is it A, Saginaw? Is it B, Detroit? Is it C, Flint? Or is it D, Pontiac? So we're looking for which city he's giving away in. Give you a hint, it's his hometown. His hometown is A, Saginaw, Sag Nasty. All right, 42% of you got that right. Let's see if it changed anything for our prize winners. So in 7th place, going on with $5 to Bora, all the way down in Texas, Talil Pradhan. In 2nd place, going with $5 to Borough and $5 to Bagley Central, is Steven Eisner Mins. In 1st place, Charlie's excited, is Ruby Red Squirt, 863 points, $5 to Borough, $5 to Bagley Central, and you're walking through it with me. I'm going to take a look at our chat here, see if we have any questions. 2020 is, who would win in a fight, Godzilla or Wolverine? I'm assuming you mean the X-Men character, Wolverine. Now I'm going to have to go with the fans. The fans would win that fight between Wolverine and Godzilla. Connor Good says, my mom thinks you should be on WDIV4. Do you agree? I'm going to say yes, of course. I'm never going to disagree with Lori Good. I can tell you that right now. Should cherry pits go down the sink? Asked Justin Buckmeyer. And the answer is no. Duh. Harper wants to know if she can see you in real life soon. The answer is unequivocally, I'd love that. So yes. 2020 is a lame, says boo. Charlie says he's excited. Whoa! Oh, he's about to fall off the mic. All right. A little premature. The opening of that beer means Nick's ready to party, and it's time for game 2. I'm back. Question 1. In what city will you find a statue of Pope John Paul II? Is it A, Detroit? Is it B, Highland Park? Is it C, Hamtramck? Or is it D, Dearborn? Correct answer there is C, Hamtramck. A little early there. 63% of you got that right. And the reason why it's there is because of the Polish history. And he was, I believe, the first Polish pope. Probably not the last, though. All right, on to question 2. What former Minnesota Viking did the Lions sign this week? Is it A, their mascot, Victor the Viking? Is it B, Randy Mouse, Randy University? Is it C, Adrian Peterson? Or is it D, Stefan Diggs? Or maybe Stefan Diggs? I'm not actually sure how you pronounce that first name. Correct answer there is C, AP, Adrian Peterson. On the Lions as of now. I had also on my fantasy team for some reason. Question 3. Wow, 84% of you got that one right. I'm very impressed. Question 3. In what neighborhood will you find this store? Is it A, downtown? Is it B, McDougal Hunt? Is it C, Pole Town? Or is it D, Eastern Market? The name of the store might help there. Couldn't think of the word store because that's a real tricky one. Correct answer is D, Eastern Market, right across the street from Boro Resale. So a one-stop shop for meat and gently used clothes. 74% of you guys got that right. 4 people thought McDougal Hunt, which is right off Gratiot. That's why I put that in there. So sorry to those guys that I tricked. All right, that's 3 questions in the books for game 2. Let's take a look at our leaderboard, our board of leaders, if you will. Oh, Chris W. skyrocketing to first place. In 7th place, you got Kamel. In 2nd place, Ruby Red Squirt. Can't find the stroke that he had in game 1. Maybe he'll get it back. Jared Bookmeyer's in 8th. Nita Kranz is in 19th. My dad's in the mix. My mom's in the mix. My stepdad's in the mix. Family reunion on this leaderboard. 2020 Cheswick's in the mix. Got a feeling that's my cousin Robert. What up, Robert? Question 4. What night in Detroit is traditionally known as Devil's Night? Is it A, October 13th? Is it B, October 15th? Is it C, October 30th? Or is it D, October 31st? Correct answer there is C, October 30th, the night before Halloween. See how many guys got that. It did get switched to Angels Night, but I literally don't know a single person that calls it Angels Night except for the city of Detroit. Oh, Sarah's old church called it Angels Night. Were they Anglican? Lutheran. The Lutherans call it Angels Night. Who does that?
Oh.
Martin Luther would be proud. Question 5. What Motown artist reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Dancing in the Street? Is it A, The Miracles, B, The Supremes, C, The Marvelettes, or D, Martha and the Vandellas? We're looking for who originally sang that song, or at least made it to number 2 anyway, and that is D, Martha and the Vandellas. I always think with these names, like, there's only 2 other girls in the there's Martha Reeves, and the Vandellas, which are 2 girls. I'd be so mad if I was one of those 2 other girls. There's only 2, and they don't get a name in there. That's enough rant for me. 22% of you got that. It looks like a lot of you thought the Supremes. Some people thought the Miracles. 1 person thought the Marvelettes. Let's move on. Question 5. I'm so upset about the Vandellas getting snubbed. Question 5. What Motown? Wait, nope, that was question 4. 5. Now let's move on to question 6. What do you guys think?
Sounds great.
Sounds good to me too. In what city is John King's Books' north location? Is it A, West Bloomfield? Is it B, Southfield? Is it C, Ferndale? Or is it D, Detroit? Sarah's scream whispering it. Correct answer is C, Ferndale. So the Detroit location has over 1 million used books. If you've never been, check it out. They are back open. Ferndale location has a lot less, I'm assuming, because it's just like a storefront in like a strip mall type deal. 63% of you got that right. A lot of Ferndalians, perhaps. That might not be the right word, but it should be. Let's take a look at this leaderboard. Getting off the rails here. 7th place, Aunt Margin Knoxville, 312 points. In 2nd place, Chris W., 431 points. And clawing his way back to 1st place is Ruby Red Squirt with 465 points. 2020 Cheswick bringing up the rear. We've got Mamma Mia in 6th place. You've got Steve Eiserman in 13th, Coco in 14th, Laura Dunn's in the mix, Kamel in all caps, mind you, is in 9th. Let's move on to question 7. How many times did this man lead the NFL in rushing? Is it A, 3, B, 6, C, 4, or D, 7? For the number of times that man, hopefully you know who he is. If you're any sort of Lions fan at all, you should know who he is. Of course, the illustrious Barry Sanders. I forgot his name for a second. And he led the NFL in rushing C4 time. Question 8. What hotel chain has a location in the Ren Center? Is it A, Hilton? Is it B, Marriott? Is it C, Super 8? Or is it D, Holiday Inn? Looking for the hotel chain in the center tower. I kind of wish it was a Super 8 because that'd be hilarious. But it is B, the Marriott. 84%. Way to go, guys. Question 9. What car company did Ivanka Trump visit last week? Is it A, FCA? Is it B, Rivian? Is it C, Ford? Or is it D, GM? She toured it with the CEO. They went to the factory and to the learning place. I forget what it's called. Well, actually, if I told you, it would be the name. It's B, GM. The learning place. The place of learning. What is it? Oh, the tech center. All right, that's another 3 in the books. We're going to take a look at our leaderboard. Looks like in 7th place, Aunt Marge holding on strong with 444 points. In 2nd place, Chris W. with 599 points. And in 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt just killing it. Laura Dunn moved up, it seemed like. Talil moved down. Sorry, Talil. Kamel moved down. I'm not sorry for you, Kamel. My mom moved up. All right, let's see how these things shake out here in the end. Shake it out. Question 10. Pre-pandemic, what animal could you do yoga with at Detroit's Pingree Farms? Is it A, goats? Is it B, dogs? Is it C, cats? Or is it D, chickens? Goats would out of guns. Dogs out of guns. Woof. I didn't do either of those things. I blew it. I apologize to you, the viewer. The correct answer is A, goats. Did any of you guys do any of that goat yoga? I know a couple people that have. They say it was pretty bad. Not unlike that joke. Question 11. On what street is the main entrance to the Detroit Masonic Temple? Is it A, Temple? Is it B, Masonic? Is it C, Larned? Or is it D, the? Looking for the name of the street that the Detroit Masonic Temple is on. That is A, Temple Street, right down, intersects with Cass, where you'll find Temple Bar, fantastic bar. See how many of you guys got that one. 53% of you got it right. Some of you thought Masonic, some of you thought Larned, nobody thought the. Hopefully you at least thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Question 12. What is the name of Henry Ford's oldest grandson? Is it A, Edsel Ford? Is it B, Henry Ford II? Is it C, Benson Ford? Or is it D, William Clay Ford? Is the name of his oldest grandson. That is B, Henry Ford II. 26% of you got it right. Remember, I told you Henry had Edsel, Henry who had Edsel. But I guess that doesn't help you with the oldest part. Oh well. Moving on to question 13. Which Disney character did Monica Conyers call her fellow city council member Ken Cockrell during an official meeting? Is it A, Shrek? Is it B, Tinkerbell? Is it C, Captain Hook? Or is it D, Peter Pan? One of my favorite pieces of Detroit city legislative history. And that is, of course, A, Shrek. I can never think of Ken Cockrell without also thinking of Shrek. That is how ingrained into my mind that is. Looks like some of you are thrown off by my usage of all the Peter Pan characters, but 37%, or 7 of you, 37% got it right with Shrek. All right, we're going to take a look at the leaderboard after every question, starting meow. In 7th place is my dad, Jerry Chezik, 624 points. In 2nd place, Chris W., 781 points. Looking for both those gift cards. And in 1st place, running away with it, is Ruby Red Squirt, which Ruby Red Squirt tastes like grapefruits, which are disgusting. Question 14. I'm not going to apologize. What is the smallest Wayne County city in terms of land area? Is it A, Northville? Is it B, Hamtramck? Is it C, Belleville? Or is it D, Grosse Pointe? And for the smallest city of Wayne County in terms of area, not in terms of heart, I'm sure. And that is C, Belleville. Belleville. Take a look at our leaderboard going into our final question, see what's what here. 7th place, moving up is Jared Bookmeyer. Way to go, J-Rod. 2nd place, Chris W., 781 points. And in 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt. Lloyd Christmas just out of the top 2 there with 764 points. Looks like we've got Aunt Margin Knoxville in 13th. The Collective Good Families in 11th. Laura Dunn's in the mix. Coco's in the mix. Question 15. What is this man's name? Is it A, Herman Moore? Is it B, Dave Bing? Is it C, Mel Farr? Or is it D, Len Barney? And for the name of the man in the picture there, flying over Michigan out in outer space, like some sort of superstar. C, Mel Superstar Farr of Mel Farr Ford. Or R.I.P. Mel Farr. 74% of you remember those commercials. Way to go. See if that changed our rankings here. So in 7th place, coming home with $5 to borrow. Way to go, J-Rod, Jared Bookmeyer. In 2nd place, going home with $5 to borrow and $5 to Bagley Central is Chris W. In 1st place, Ruby Red Squirt, getting not only $5 to borrow, $5 to Bagley Central, but also a walking tour with me. Well, believe it or not, that is another week of trivia in the books. See you again next week, hopefully. Big shout out to Sarah and Nick for helping out, and to Bagley Central, to Boro, to you for the viewer for joining us once again. Until next week, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, whoa, fastball, stay hungry. It wasn't in my pocket this time, so I lied yet again. Get rid of this mouse here. Let's get into this thing. I haven't had a banana in days. My potassium levels have bottomed out. Tastes like there's a hint of banana there. Definitely banana on it.
I believe it.
Good thing about bananas is they taste like exactly what you expect all the time. You never have a good banana, you don't have a bad banana. Go through